Good evening and welcome to East Alton Ice Arena. It's a late Monday night hockey game. First game of the playoffs for the Bulldogs. They got a bye in the first week as they were top of the 1A bracket. We'll get started with the Triad night lineup. And your lineup for the Highland Bulldogs. Number 75, Luke Gunter. Number 5, Captain Jack Nimmo. Wearing number 34, Jake the Snake Resmond. Number 55, Gus Tolley. And number 18, Tyson Hoyt. And in between the pipes tonight, wearing number 88, Wade Konieczny. Stand for the national anthem. Got 4 referees tonight, 2 linesmen and 2 officials. Konieczny gets warmed up in the crease. Boyd will come out to take the draw. Face off one back to Gunter. Nimmo jams it forward. Battle for puck possession. Makes it over to the far side for Urick of the Knights. Dumped in. And Tolley will chase down low. He'll get it set up behind his own net. Up to Nimmo. He tries to clear it out. Held. Shot fired wide to Konieczny. Over to the far side. Jake the Snake Resmond winds up on the boards. Hoyt will clear it out of the zone. And Resmond will race in. He's going to bring that in on sides. Resmond towards the net, and Nimmo gets taken out in front of the net, and it's back the other way. Perschbacher's going to walk in. fires a shot off the side of the net. He'll drop it down low. Gunter gets a body in the lane, and Hoyt will pick up the loose puck. He's going to lift that down out into neutral ice, and the Knights will get set up. McFarland up the boards to Perschbacher. He'll turn it over to Landon Hicks. Hicks goes off a Knight's body. That's up to Tolley. Resman tries to throw it in the zone, and Hicks will finish it off. He's going to dance it wide, fires a shot, and a glove save by Kadich for the Knights. With 12:49 left to go in the first period. 0-0 the score. Lots of hockey left to play tonight. Josh Resman on the draw. Out with Hicks and Rinder, backed up by Cooper Hicks and Justin Lai. One back by the Knights. Lai down to pinch. He'll throw it back down and in. And Rinder will chase down low. He takes the body. Knights will still pick it up. It's going to come out to the blue line for Hicks. He's going to walk it in and throw it back in on the backhand. Resman reads that play well. That's going to come out and back out to neutral ice and thrown in by the Knights. Hicks tries to pinch. Resman throws the body over to the far side. Rinder tries to leave it for Lai. That's going to get pushed out of the zone. Lai will pick up the loose puck at the blue line. Brings it in wide. Gets poke checked away by the Knights. Hicks is able to hold, and he'll throw it in. The Bulldogs will go back in on the forecheck. Knights with a stretch pass up the weak side of the ice. They're going to dump it in. And Lai will chase into the far corner. He's going to rim it up the near boards for Nimmo, who chops it out of the zone. McFarland will go D to D with Urick. And they'll go right up center ice where it's chipped in by the Knights. They'll drive it into the corner. Try to center it. That's through. And they pick it off on the far side post as Konieczny seals up the far side, but the centering pass is left wide open for the Knights on the back door, and it's 11:29 left to go in the first, and the Knights take a one-goal lead. Hoyt on the draw, wins it over to the near boards for Nimmo. Nimmo's going to wheel it into his own zone. He'll go hard back up the boards for Tolley. Tolley chips it up for Hoyt, who chips it in. Gunter in on the forecheck, trying to knock it away. Baravic holds at the blue line. He'll throw it in on the backhand. Out to Tolley at the point. He throws it back down and in. Baravic chips it out for Gunter. Gunter walks it through the top of the crease. He'll throw it over to Tolley. Tolley will fire it in, and that's off a body and wide. Tolley drops it back to the point, but nobody's there to cover, and Gunter will come back to his own blue line to pick up the loose puck. He's going to wheel it right up the center. He'll bring it in wide to Perschbacher. Fires one on net. And Kadich will get a glove on that for a save with 10:38 left to go in the first. Josh Resman on the draw. He's got Rinder and Hicks on the wings, backed up by Jake the Snake Resman and Reagan Dortch. That's one out to Dortch. He'll throw that. That goes off a leg pad, and now it's a 2-on-1. Shot saved by Konieczny. Rebound. He gets a glove on it, and it goes wide. Dortch will chase into the far corner. She's tripped up. No call. Resman to Resman. And they'll go hard up the boards to the near side. And Rinder in on the forecheck. Hicks comes in, chops it away. That's going to make its way to Resman. He'll fire it off of a body, and that's going to go down low. Hicks trying to work it out front. Rinder will pick up the loose puck. He's going to walk it over to the far side. And the Knights will cut that off, bring it back the other way. That's off a body. And Jake the Snake Resman races in to pick up the loose puck. He's chipping it up the boards. Leaves it for Josh Resman. who goes all the way around. That's going to be held at the point by McDowell. He'll throw it back down and towards the net, off the leg pad of Konieczny. That comes right out front and cleared down the ice by Resman. Jake Flavor. And that'll be an icing whistle and an ozone face-off for the Knights. Just to the left of, right of Konieczny. Maybe. Going to the left of Konieczny, glove side. We'll get Hoyt on the draw. Nemo tries to drag it out. He's going to come away with it. He'll drop it down, but Knights will pick that off. And back up to Nemo. He'll hammer that around the boards to a waiting Luke Gunter, who chips it back down low for Justin Lai. Up the boards. Knights will hold and dump it in. Lai picks it away. Got to rim that around for Nemo. Nemo back down low. Over to Gunter on the far side. Left for Lai. Lai will wheel it out of the zone, and he'll dump it in, and Nemo will go in on the forecheck. Kadich all the way out to play it. Fans on the rim, and the Knights will throw that far side. Lai will pick it up. They'll send it over to the near side for Cooper Hicks. Hicks will chip it out of the zone. Nemo over to Gunter. Gunter winds up, brings it in wide. Shot goes wide from Hoyt as Gunter's taken out right in at the top of the crease. You're trying to work it around the inboards, and the Knights will clear that out. That's going to go all the way down for an icing whistle and an ozone faceoff for the Bulldogs. With 8:17 left to play in the first period, 1-0 Triads the score. Resman on the draw. Renderer and Hicks on the wings, backed up by Tolley and Arabic. It's one back, but the Knights will cut that off, and they bring it down the near side. Tolley tries for the poke check. They'll fire that one wide to Konieczny. Over to the near glass. Miller will throw that wide of the net. Hicks with a big hit over on the far glass. That's over to Renderer from Resman. Renderer races in, fires a shot off of Kadich and high in and into the corner. Hicks will circle the wagons, waiting for the Bulldogs to get set up. Fires one on net, save Kadich. He'll chase it back into the far corner. That's going to go over to Resman. Shot and a glove save by Kadich as nobody's set up on the back door. Bulldogs will get a change. We'll get Nemo, Hazelhorse, Weiss. Backed up by Resman and Hicks. Nemo on the draw. That's one back over to Weiss, but he's unable to settle the pass, and Hicks will dump it in. Resman holds the line. Nemo tries to make a move. Hazelhorse will pick it up. He'll fire it off a body. Resman will recover it. That goes off a shin guard and into the far corner, and Weiss will chase it. Knights looking for some open ice, and Nemo with a big hit. Out the center ice. Miller walks it in. He'll fire it off the leg of Cooper Hicks, who chases to the corner. Up the boards for Weiss. Sent far side for Nemo. Knights will get there first, and they'll throw it back to the Bulldog blue line. Hazelhorse will get the zone and dumps it in. As Lightning are going off for a change, Bulldogs are going off for a change. Weiss takes a big hit in the corner. Dortch will dump it in. Knights cut that off. McFarland will chip it high and into the zone. Resman tries to work it up the boards. Shot goes off the stick of Konieczny over to the near glass. They'll throw it back around the inboards. Back to the near side. Hazelhorse trying to work it out of the zone. He'll poke it back towards Dortch to find some open ice. Dortch up the boards to Gunter. That's cleared out by Gunter, but the Knights bring it back in. Fire one, goal. And they beat Konieczny from the blue line. And that'll be 2-0 Triad with 6:05 left to go in the first period. Boyd on the draw with Orn and Gunter on the wings, backed up by Lai and Arabic. Hirschbacher brings it in, fires one wide. Moore will pick it up on the near glass, poked away by Lai. He'll try to work it up the boards for Orn. He'll chip it out around, looking for Hoyt. Gunter over to Hoyt. Hoyt's going to bring that in wide. Hoyt tries to center it. That goes off a stick and into the far corner for Orn. He'll drop it back for Hoyt. Hoyt trying to get it out of the corner. Knights clear it up the boards, but Orn's able to knock it down. Hoyt comes in hot, and Arabic will throw that into the far corner. Gunter chases. He's going to take the body. Tries to work it out front, and the net almost gets pushed over onto the back of Kadich. .5:16 left to go in the first period. Bulldogs are trailing 2-0. Triad's got 2 goals on 4 shots. Bulldogs have got 8 on net tonight. Resmond on the draw with Render and Hicks on the wings, backed up by Arabic and Lai. They win that over to Render. He can't settle it, and the Knights will pick it up and clear it out. Hicks at center ice, trying to find some room. He'll take the body of Rosenberg. And that's going to come loose over to Arabic. He'll go up the boards looking for Resmond. Knights will get there first. Uric will chip it in. That's going to go off a body on the bench, and they'll pull that out. They're pointing towards the zone, and one's pointing out of the zone, but they're going to take it in the zone to the right of Konieczny. Resmond will take the drop. He'll win it back and into the corner for Hicks. Cooper Flavor around the boards for Landon Hicks. Hicks is going to wind up down the near side, makes a move. Tolley will pick up the loose puck. Over to Render. He'll chip it in. Follows it up. That'll make its way to Resmond. He'll stick it towards the net, but loses the handle. He'll take the hit from Uric. Up the boards. Tolley's able to hold. Hicks will pick it away. He's going to skate towards the slot. And he'll hold on to it over to the near boards where he battles in the corner. He's covered up by 3 Knights. Render comes away with it, gets it out to Tolley. Shot off the stick of the goaltender with 4:03 left to go in the first. Render flat out bear hug. And that shot goal, did not see who got it, but it's a Bulldog goal. I believe that's going to be Josh Resmond Jr., who will get the first one on the scoreboard tonight for the Bulldogs with 4 minutes left to go in the first period. It's 2-1. Nemo, Wallace, Weiss on the wings. They'll win it over to the near boards. Wallace will chip it. That goes towards the defense. And so hot that it knocks Gilliman off his feet on the pass. Ravik rims it around for Resmond. Resmond up the boards for Weiss. He tries to jam it. Poked out of the zone. Nimmo trying to work it out. And the Knights will throw it in. They'll have to tag up as Ravik will pick it up. Ravik off the glass. Can't clear it out. And Weiss will pick up the loose puck and wheel it out of the zone over to Nimmo. Triad resets in their own zone. They're going to clear that out. Arabic will pick it up at the face-off circle. Back up the boards, looking for Wallace. He'll throw it cross ice. It's going to find its way to Weiss. That should have been an offside whistle, but they let him tag up. Wallace and Arabic Work it out of the zone. Nemo tries to bring it in wide. Back to Arabic. Cleared into the zone. And the Bulldogs will go off for a change. Sorry, I just did like 3 Lightning hockey games over the weekend, and I'm getting them mixed up. Arabic chips it out of the zone. He'll follow it up. Hauer will throw it in. Kadich sets it up for McFarland. McFarland will circle the net. He throws the brakes on, but loses a stick. Here it goes hard up the glass and out of the zone, and Jake the Snake Resman sends it over to Tolley. Tolley back to Resman. Resman up to Hauer. Hauer will follow it up. Gunter there to pick it away. Gunter through center ice. And fires one, saved by Kadich, and he'll freeze that for a whistle with 2:09 left to go in the first period. Bulldogs trailing 2-1.
My head hurts
Face off one back to Gunter. He tries to fire a shot, but fans on it. Gets a second opportunity. Hauer there knocking on the front door, looking to clean up the trash in front of the net. Hauer shakes off the hit from McFarland. Dropped off for Gunter. And his pass to the D is picked off and back the other way. Blevins fires one just a bit high and over the glass and into the netting. That would have been good for 3 points last night, but it's a whistle and a face-off to the left of Konieczny. .145 left to go in the first period. 2-1, Bulldogs trailing. Shot, glove saved by Konieczny. And we'll do it all over again to his left. Triad wins it. Hicks will chip it out of the zone, and that's going to get lifted up over the glass and into the seating section. The one lucky fan gets to chase it. Resman on the draw, Hicks and Render on the wings. One over to Render. Knights will throw it in. Tolley picks it up down low. Working it back and forth, turns it over. And the Knights will throw that out to their own blue line. But they're not able to settle it. Render putting the pressure on, and the Knights will chip it back down in. Lai throws the brakes on in the corner. Resman goes cross ice, but Knights will cut that off. Good pick away there by Hicks and Resman to break it up. Resman races back the other way. He tries to lead it out front, but Kadich will get a glove on that as he comes out to settle it a couple of feet outside of the blue paint. And with 59 seconds left to go in the first period, Bulldogs will take a face off to the right of Kadich. We'll get Nemo, Weiss, and Horn out to take the draw. Nemo wins it back, but the Knights read that well and cut it off. They send it over to the far side, try to dance it wide around Hicks, and he'll cut that off. Hicks continuing to work, but it gets picked off by the Knights, and Jake the Snake Resman battling in the corner. Up the boards for Weiss. He's not able to settle it. That's thrown towards the net. Punched away by Konieczny. Cooper Hicks skates it around the net over to Weiss. And Weiss will bring it out of the zone up to Nemo at center ice. Poked away by the Knights. And now it's McDowell back the other way. He's going to throw the brakes on, and that's cut off by Nemo. 20 seconds left to go in the first period. Nemo over to Hicks. Over to Resman. Up center ice to Weiss. Nemo tries to jam it away. 10 seconds left to go on the clock. And Nemo's going to skate it behind his own net. Just kill off the rest of the first period. And that'll do it for the end of the first. Triad has the lead 2-1 on 5 shots. And Highland has 14 shots on net. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the next 14 minutes of play. Konieczny out to the crease to start the second period. 14 minutes on the clock. Bulldogs trailing by 1 goal. Hoyt on the draw, wins it over to Gunter. Gunter over to Ravik. He gets his pocket picked, and the Knights will throw it in on the backhand. Toley from behind his own net. Brings it over to the far corner. Goes up the ice looking for Hoyt. Hoyt comes in. That's cleared out of the zone and all the way down. That should have been an icing whistle, but they'll wave it off. Ravik behind his own net. He's cross-checked down, and it's Toley going to wheel it out of the zone. And thrown wide of the net. Kadich out to settle it. That's rimmed around. Gunter over to Ravik. Ravik tries to get it on net. That's cut off by the Knights, and they'll shovel that down the ice. That's going to go on net, and Konieczny will have to set it up for Hoyt. Hoyt stretch pass over to Ravik. Knights will take the body. Howard tries to pick it away. Toley slows it down. And Hoyt will come in and pick up the loose puck. Over to Gunter. Gunter's going to wind up through the ice. Brings it in over the blue line. Takes it wide, throws the brakes on. Drops it off out to the point for Ravik. And he gets his pocket picked by Moore, and Moore will dump it all the way down the ice. Lai clears it up the boards, held at the blue line. Shot fired, saved by Konieczny. And Lai will pick this up, throws it off the back of a Knight, and Resman tries to clear it out. That's going to stay in the zone. Ravik putting some pressure on, and Lai will clear that all the way out to the blue line. Hicks tries to chop it away. And Resman going to opt to wheel it out of the zone over to Rinder. Rinder's going to bring it in wide, tries to make a move. Resman's there to back him up, but he's not able to hold on to it either. And now it's a 3-on-1 back the other way. Resman back to defend. They send it in the front, and that goes off of a body. Resman throws a check in the corner, and Josh Resman will wind up down center ice. Tries to center it over to Rinder, and that's cut off by the Knights. Out to Lai in neutral ice. He'll throw it in on the backhand, and the Bulldogs will tag up and go off for a change. Rinder tries to knock it down in front. Hicks holds his own. That's going to go over to Rinder. Rinder, shot. Oh, goes high over the net off the backhand. He had a wide open net. Weiss tries to throw it over to Rinder. Rinder back towards the net. Over to the near side. Weiss in the corner. Wraps it up the boards. Hirschbacher will get there first. And that's going to get thrown around the inboards where Weiss is waiting on the boards. He's hit hard by Moore. Resman tries to hold the blue line. And that's back out to neutral ice. And Cooper Hicks from his own zone. He'll throw the brakes on, tries to rim it around for Resman, but there's a referee in the way. And that should be a penalty right there. And they instruct him to lay it down instead of calling it. as one of the Knights players goes off holding a broken stick. Jake the Snake Resman winds up down the near side. He's going to chip it in. That's knocked down by a high stick. They're going to say it's not. That was over shoulder easily. And Orn chips it up. And it's going to go off a body and up into the Bulldog bench, where we'll get a whistle. Hoyt on the draw with Hazelhorse and Gunter on the wings. Tolley tries to jam it into the zone. Hazelhorse gets his pocket picked. Tolley will take the body. Now it's a 2-on-1 back shot goal. As Rosenberg will center it to, I can't pick off the name. That was Carey. As Carey gets a wide open net for the backdoor tap in with 10:02 left to go in the second period. Triad extends their lead 3-1. Gunter picks up the puck. He throws it into the zone. Kadich out to try to play it. Hazelhorse races in hot, seals it up. Trying to work it out to Hoyt. It's going to come out to Tolley at the point. He'll throw it towards the net. That's a glove save by Kadich. And we'll get a O-zone face-off to his right. No change for the Bulldogs. Hoyt will still center the line of Gunter and Hazelhorse, backed up by Oravik and Tolley. Tolley trying to poke it forward. He'll glove it down. That's going to come out to neutral ice where Gilliman will pick it up. Throws it on net. Konietzki throws it to the corner. Oravik takes the body. Gunter coming in to pick up the loose puck. He'll lift it out into neutral ice. Urick sends it up the other side. That was a... And McFarland got hit there at center ice. I think he and Hoyt collided. And then Miller came in and chopped right on Hoyt. Referees will convene to try to figure out the call. .922 left to go in the second period. Score is 3-1 Triad. Referees sorting out a call. We're going to send Miller to the box. And it appears that'll be it. They'll give Miller a 2-minute for slashing, and the Bulldogs will be on the power play. Render working it down low. He's checked off the puck by Urick. He'll recover it, trying to work it up to his blade. He's going to skate it right towards the net. Shot goal! Wyatt Render, the one-man wrecking crew, skates it down low and jams it on net to make it 3-2. Only a 1-goal lead now for Triad with 9:07 left to go in the second period. 18 shots for the Bulldogs, 8 for Triad. Josh Resmond Jr. back on the draw with Hicks and Rinder on the wings. It's back over to Rinder. Hicks will chip it into the zone. Josh Resmond will take it down low. He chases Farland for the puck possession. Hicks takes the body, and Resmond's going to try to wrap it around the net. And back up the ice, Blevins will skate it right through center ice, fires it off the shin pad of Cooper Hicks. He'll show some great patience as he gets it up to his brother. Landon Hicks skates it in, shot, goal, or saved by Landon Hicks. Premature there. I'm just willing it into existence with 8:33 left to go. Kadich makes a save, and they'll take the face-off to his left. We'll get Hoyt, Nimmo, and Gunter on the wings, backed up by Aravik and Tolley. Hoyt wins it back, picks it up off a skate, fires it right in front. Nimmo trying to tap it in front. Drop down for Hoyt. Out to Gunter, shot, save, point blank by Kadich as Gunter comes in and tries to force 1 5-hole. And a good look there for the Bulldogs. Face-off 1 back by the Knights. Hoyt will chase into the corner. He clear it out to neutral ice, and it's thrown back in by Gunter. McDowell turns it over to Hoyt. Shot, save, loose in front. They jam away. Gunter trying to work it in front of the net, and that goes wide. And now Knights are going to touch it, and there's going to be another Bulldog power play. I'm not quite sure what the call was on that. But they blow it dead. No power play for anybody. And they're going to take it all the way down to the Bulldog defensive zone. Knights trying to work it out front. That's going to come loose to Landon Hicks. He's going to wind up through center ice. He's going to bring it in around McFarland, right in front. Over to Rinder. Oh, can't connect as Kadich was feet out of the goal. Rinder tries to center it out front and Hicks, but Urick gets a stick in the lane. Shot from Resmond goes wide on the hard angle. Chipped down into the corner by Rinder. He's going to work it back out for Resmond. Resmond throws it towards the net. Saved by Kadich. That's going to get cleared all the way down the ice. They're going to wave that off. They're going to say somebody could have played that. Resmond throws the brakes on in the corner, and there's a Triad jock in the corner that was faked him out so much. Up to Rinder on the center ice. Tries to go rink wide to Landon Hicks. He'll pick it back up. Lines up, chips it around, and that's going to get cleared back out by Urick. Jake the Snake Resmond dumps it in, and Kadich will try to rim it up. That's going to get cut off by Rinder. Resmond skates it. Shot. Comes all the way out to the blue line for Lai. He'll fire it in, and that's going to go off his stick and up into the netting with 6:37 left to go in the second period. Scores 3-2 Triad. Bulldogs out shooting 25-8. And for those of you watching at home, East Alton turned off the heat, and it's starting to get chilly. You picked a good spot to stay home and warm to watch a hockey game. It's one back to Hicks. He'll feather it down low for Nimmo. Nimmo trying to drag it out front. He's bodied off the puck. Gunter into the corner. Gets his stick lifted. That's going to come around the inboards. Hoyt tries to get there. Aravik will pinch. Shovels it over for Hoyt. And cleared back out by Triad. Hicks is playing down deep as they've tried to spring Perschbacher early. Rimmed around for Ravik. He'll let it go up the boards for Nemo. And that's going to go down the ice. And Hoyt comes in, takes the body. Nemo tries to poke it away. That goes far side. Gunter in hot pursuit. And for Perschbacher, right center. Shot saved by Konieczny. And he gets that covered up for a whistle. No rebound opportunity. 5:46 left to go in this second. Face off to the right of Konieczny. Josh Resman will take the draw. He pushes it back. Tolley will send it up the boards. Cut off by the Knights. They fire it off the leg pad of Konieczny, and Josh Resman will pick it up, sends it over to the near side, looking for Rinder. It goes wide to Rinder, and Urick will pick it up and circle his own net. Oh, they're going to call that a slash. That was weak. That was weaker than truck stop toilet paper. But 5:18, and now Rinder is going to go to the box, and the Bulldogs will have a penalty to kill off. Face-off will be to the right of Konieczny. We'll get Resman Tolley on defense with Hicks and Resman up front. Knights win it back. They'll send it D to D. Walking in front. Shot blocked by Tolley. He'll rim that hard around. That's going to come out to the blue line. Held by McFarland. Thrown back down and in. Jake the Snake Resman trying to push it around the inboards. That's going to come over to Hicks, who clears it all the way down the ice. Kadich will settle it. Sends it up the ice for McFarland, who turns it over to Tolley. Tolley will hammer it back into the zone. Kadich back out to settle. And Nemo will hold the zone again and throws it back in. The Knights McFarland from their own zone. Sends it over to Rosenberg over on the far side. That's chipped away by Cooper Hicks. And back up the ice. Tolley tries to take the body. They'll try to center that. And Cooper Hicks will fire that back out of the zone. Urick will dump it in. Knights will tag up, and Tolley will clear it right back down the ice. Kadich will set it up. He'll send it up to Urick, who drops it off for Nemo, who throws it back into the zone. And Perschbacher will pick it up now. 38 seconds left to go on the penalty kill. Perschbacher throws it off a Hoyt. Knocked away by Nemo. Nemo picks it up loose. Knights will get away with an interference call. Nemo walks it right in front. Tries to make a move. Shot off the post. And Perschbacher will pick it back up. 16 seconds. Hicks will intercept the dump in, and he'll throw it back the other way. And Rinder about to pop out of the box. McFarland sends it up the near side. Gunter will cut that off. And he'll throw it back out of the zone. And Kadich out to settle it. He'll throw it into the corner, and Orns over. Gunter, shot. Saved by Kadich and cleaned up by Urick. He'll lift that down the ice. That's going to be an icing whistle. With 3:58 left to go in the second period. 3-2 is the score. Triad with the lead. We'll get a face-off to the left of Kadich. We'll get Resman with Gunter and Orn. Oh, Gunter fires one that goes just wide of the net. Lai over trying to knock it away. He battles over on the far boards with Rosenberg. That'll come out loose for Davis, and he'll fire it down the ice for an icing whistle, and we'll get another Ozone faceoff. Hoyt on the draw, backed up by, on the wings is Rinder and Hicks. Tolley and Lai on D. It's rimmed around by the Knights into the corner. Rinder takes the body. He's able to knock it away from McDowell. Rinder will come away with it. Sends it out to Tolley at the point. Tolley lifts it down and in for Hicks. Hicks skates it up the near side. Tries to get it over to Rinder. He can't settle it, and that'll send it out to Tolley at the point. Fires it in. Hicks goal! As he picks up the rebound on the shot from Tolley. And it's 3-3 with 2:19 left to go in the second period on the goal from Hicks. That's Landon flavor. At a season high 40 viewers tonight. I don't blame all of you. I would love to be right there at home, comfy and warm. One over to the near side. Cooper Hicks will send it over to the far side for Jake the Snake Resman, over for Rinder. Rinder is going to bring it in wide, tries to center it. And that's lifted back out of the zone. Not enough for an icing whistle, and Cooper Hicks will settle it. Sends it over to the far side for Jake the Snake Resman, who goes up for Nimmo. Nimmo tries to let it chip into the zone, but that's cut off by the Knights. Resman gets it over to Hicks. He'll clear it out of the zone. Nimmo winds up. He's going to bring it in. Tries to work it over to Rinder. That's cut off by Urick. And Urick will clear it back out to neutral ice, where Resman will throw it back in. And we did not get back onside, but they go ahead and let him play now. Throwing back up the boards. Oh, Resman tried to kick it up to his blade, and now it's Cooper Hicks racing in on Perschbacher. He's able to knock it away and picks it away from Blevins, is Orn. He'll go up the far boards. Knights will chip it out to neutral ice. Wallace in hot pursuit. Knights will bring, I don't know how that wasn't offside. Wallace will chip it out. And that's up to Resman. Josh Flavor, he tries to center it. Kadich will come out and play it up the boards for Perschbacher. Perschbacher winds up down the far boards, skates it in. Shot saved by Konechny, and a juicy rebound. There's cleaned up by Cooper Hicks. Perschbacher skates it right up. Shot, goal. He beats Konechny blocker side as he's able to skate right to the crease, or to the slot. With 45 seconds, Triad takes back the lead. 45 seconds left to go in the second period for those watching at home. Don't want you to blow a gasket thinking we gave up a lead or a tie game that late. Hoyt, Gunter, and Hazelhorse out to take the draw. Backed up by Tolley and Aravik. Shipped into the zone. Tolley will clear it up the boards. Hazelhorse hit high late there by Davis. Cleared down the ice by Rosenberg. Gunter picks it up at center ice over to Hoyt. Hoyt races in. Makes a move. Shot saved by Kadich. Hoyt, or Hazelhorse, tries to send it around the inboards. That's going to come over to Carey. Aravik throws that off a shin guard, and Carey will clear that down the ice. That won't be enough for icing, as Tolley will pick it up. And the Bulldogs will get reset over to Gunter. Gunter sends that one wide of the net. And that'll do it for the end of the second. Bulldogs are trailing 4-3. 29 shots on goal for the Bulldogs and 12 for the Knights. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the last 14 minutes of play in Game 1 of the Highland Triad playoff bracket. Final 14 minutes of play on the clock. Bulldogs looking to mount a comeback from a 1-goal deficit. 4-3 Triad is the score. Resman, Hicks, Render out to take the draw. Backed up by Resman and Lai. Resman will win that back to Resman. He'll skate it up the near boards before he dumps it in. Not able to get it deep. Unable to hold the blue line, but just for a moment. Now it's back the other way. It's a 2-on-1 with Triad. Blevins comes in. Shot off the mask of Konechny. Hicks takes the body, and Josh Resman will pick up the puck, and he'll wheel it down the near glass. Resman tries to put it on net. That's chipped away by Kadich. Cleared out by McFarland. They try to lead Moore, and Lai will get a stick in the lane, and Moore has to take it down low. Lai lifts it up the boards, but Perschbacher will cut that off. Resman takes the body, and Render and Resman clear it out. They find Hicks at center ice. He'll make a move, brings it in wide to Urick. Hicks trying to work it up the boards, but there's 3 Knights all over him. They try to spring somebody early. As Hicks skates in, shot saved by Kadich. And McFarland and Render will do a little bumping and shoving. Battle of the threes. Face-off should be to the left of Kadich with 12:59 left to go in the third period. Hoyt on the draw. Wins it against Davis. Gunter tries to jam it towards the net. Hoyt will pick up the loose puck. They send that out. It finds its way to Gunter. Gunter fires one on net. Howard's causing havoc in front. Gunter cuts off the clearing attempt. Hoyt winds up, fires that off the shin guard of McDowell. Tolley down to pinch, throws it in the corner for Gunter. Gunter back up to Tolley. Tolley's able to hold it only for a moment before the Knights clear it out. Cooper Hicks goes right up center. Gunter will still pick that up. He's held by Davis, no call. Chipped up the boards. Tolley picks it up at his own blue line. He'll opt to wheel it, drops it off to Rosenberg. In over the blue line. They fire that one. It's just saved by Konechny. And Howard will pick it up the near boards. Goes up the boards for Gunter. Gunter will bring it in. Works it around McDowell. Gunter tries to make it through to the crease, and the Knights will pick that off. And they'll bring that back out to neutral in over the blue line. Aravik chops it away. That's going to come out to Perschbacher, and Konechny will handle the shot with a nice glove / blocker save there. And they'll take the faceoff to his right with 11:43 left to go in the third. Nimmo on the draw with Weiss and Orn on the wings. One back to Aravik. He gets poked around the inboards. Orn takes the body right through the hands, actually. He'll chip it up the boards, held right at the blue line by McFarland. Nimmo makes him feel the pain as he finishes his check. Aravik with a check in the corner, and he'll pick up the loose puck, goes up the boards for Weiss. Weiss over to Orn. Orn winds up, chips it wide of Orn causing havoc down there in the corner with McFarland. And Orn's going to go to the box. And McFarland with a big hit on that one. Now the Bulldogs will have a 2-minute penalty to kill off with 11:58 left to go in the third period. 4-3 Triad is the score. They give Orn a holding call. It was something. I don't know that I'd technically call it holding. Take the face off to the right of Konechny. Resman on the draw, backed up by Resman and Hicks, and flanked by Hicks. That's one back to Cooper Hicks. He's got some time, and he's just going to clear that right down the ice. McFarland will have to chase it back to his own blue line. Knights turn it over to Landon Hicks. He's going to skate it back to his own blue line. Sends it over to Jake the Snake Resman. Over to Cooper Hicks. He's not wasting any time as he clears it out. Urick will send it over to the near side. Hicks tries to poke it away. Resman does the job, and he'll clear that up into the bench. Right towards his dad and Coach Hicks. That might have got a player on the bench. I think they might have went off Cash Wallace off the bench. He seems to be doing okay. Another minute 23 left to kill off in the penalty. Boyd on the draw with Rinder. One back to Cooper Hicks. He's going to clear it all the way out to the blue line, but that's held by McDowell. He'll throw that towards the net. That's high sticked, but Bulldogs will play it. Rinder tries to clear it out, held by Urick at the blue line. He'll walk it over to right in front, saved by Konieczny. And Resman tries to clear it out. He can't either. And back down and in. That's going to come to Rinder. He can't get much on it, but he does get it out to neutral ice. Where McDowell sends it over to Blevins on the wing, over to Perschbacher on the far side, lifts it in, saved by Konieczny. Hoyt tries to lift it out of the zone, and we'll send that over to the far side for Urick. He'll throw one on net, and Konieczny will get a glove on it to freeze it for a whistle with 28 seconds left to kill off in the penalty. 9:26 left to go in the third period. Triad leads 4-3. Nimmo on the draw with Gunter. He'll jam that forward and then tries to push it out of the zone. Lyle finish it up. McFarland picks it up, and he'll circle the wagons. Sends it over to the near side for Rosenberg, who sends it over cross ice. Knights will finally make the zone entry. Chip down low. Tolley. Going to try the other side. He'll throw it. Breaks back on. He'll lift that one all the way down the ice. And that'll kill off the Orn penalty. Up the near side to Davis. Nimmo able to poke it away. Gunter picks it up. He's tripped up, and we'll get the call on that as Davis will go to the box on a tripping penalty, and now it'll be the Bulldogs power play with 8:44 left to go in the third. Bulldogs trailing by 1. Josh Resman will take the draw. He's got Knights will pick it away. They try to wheel it out of the zone. Perschbacher and Blevins will bring it in wide. They fire that one off the leg pad of Konieczny. And Tolley gets it out of the zone. Rinder picks it up at his feet. He's going to bring it in wide. They try to poke it away. He'll send it on the backhand. They hammer away, and Kadich will get that whistle. I don't know that he quite had it covered up yet, but 8:21 left to go in the game. Bulldogs trailing by 1. Resman on the draw. And Perschbacher will clear that down the ice. Konieczny will handle that over to the corner for Jake Resman. Over to Cooper Hicks. Over to the far side for Landon Hicks. He's going to bring it in wide. Overskates it, and that's cleared back down the ice by the Bulldogs, or by the Knights for the Bulldogs. Hicks up for Resman. Resman over to Resman. Jake Flavor. He'll get pushed off the puck by Perschbacher. Over to the far side. Hicks, or Resman will bring it in. Dances it wide. Shot. Block glove side. Goes just wide. It's going to come loose to Rinder. Rinder tries to get it right out front to Gunter or Resman, and that's going to go off of a blade, and Tadich will freeze it for a whistle with 38 seconds left to go in the Bulldog power play. 7:21 left to go in the third period. Triad leads 4-3. Hoyt on the draw with Gunter and Nimmo on the wings. Knights win it back. They turn it over to Gunter. Gunter sends it in front, and that's cleared all the way down the ice by Carey. Ravik will double back. He'll rim it up the boards for Cooper Hicks. Over to the far side for Hoyt. He's going to wind up, get on his horse, skate it right through the center. He's in all by himself. Blocked away. And no call. No call. He couldn't get the shot off, or Kadich made the save. That's going to go over to Nimmo. Nimmo right out front. Gunter, shot. Loose. They jam away. Shot goes wide. And the penalty has been killed off, and that's going to go all the way down. Konieczny sends it over to the near side for Hicks. Chipped over to Ravik. Hard up the boards for Hoyt. And that's in offside, and so Cooper Hicks will pick up the loose puck. He's just going to decide to wheel it down the far side as he throws it wide to Kadich. Set it up for the Knights. Fired hard up the glass. Rinder takes the body. Levens will walk it in. Fires a shot. Kicked away by Konieczny. Into the corner it goes. Lyle chase. It's at his feet. Levens will pick it away. He drives towards the net. Shot save Konieczny, and he'll get a glove on the loose puck and freeze it for a whistle. .547 left to go in the third. 4-3 the score. Resman on the draw. Rinder and Hicks on the wings, backed up by Lai and Resman. Resman throws it down low, and Resman will pick it up. The other one. He'll go stretch it across over to his brother. Rinder gains the zone and is poked away by the Knights. Hicks on a good back check there, knocks it away. And now it's the Knights back in onside. Perschbacher will dump it down and in. Resman clears it down and looking for Hicks, but he's not able to settle the pass. And they'll blow an icing call with 5:12 left to go in the third period. Face off to the left of Konieczny. Hoyt will take the draw. Goes just wide of the net. Hoyt will chip it over for Gunter. Gunter over to Lai. Lai's going to wind up through center ice. Going to throw the brakes on, throws it towards the net, and Kadich will seal that up for a whistle with 4:53 left to play in the game. We'll get a timeout, and we'll be back in just a moment. Boyd will take the draw with Gunter and Nimmo on the wings, backed up by Tolley and Hicks. Hoyt wins it back. Knights read that well, and that goes down the ice. That'll go in on net, and Poniechny will get a glove on it for a whistle as the Knights make a quick transition and one back to Tolley. He goes hard up the board, settled at the blue line by McFarland, but chipped out of the zone. And the Knights will have to tag up. Tolley tries to throw the brakes on. He's going to go ahead and wheel it out of the zone. Can't get it in deep, and the Knights will return it back down the ice. Cooper Hicks will pick that up. He'll rim it around for Gunter. Gunter works it up the boards for Hoyt, who gets it back to Gunter. Gunter's going to bring it in. He's going to drive the net. Shot goes high over the net. And back the other way, McFarland will wind up through center ice. He'll dump it in. That's going to go on net, and Poniechny will handle it. .355 left to go in the third period. Bulldogs trailing by 1 with a score of 4-3. Resman on the draw. Knights will win it back. They'll fire one towards the net. Arabic will kick that down and poke it away. Hicks winds up down the near boards. He'll bring it in wide. Tries to drop it off back out to the point, but the Knights will pick that up, and now Hicks is going to go to the box on a tripping penalty on Rosenberg. And so now the Bulldogs will have a penalty to kill off with 3:36 left to go in the third. Nimmo and Render up front, backed up by Resman and Resman. Nimmo wins it forward. He's going to exit the zone. He'll chip it down the ice. Knights center it right up the middle to Carey. He's going to drop that off to Nimmo. Nemo's going to wind up. Going to bring it, tries to bring it in around. Render will fire one towards the net. Kadich will glove that down. They turn it back over to Render. He's going to skate it right through the top of the slot. Fires a shot off the shin guard of McFarland. And that's going to get lifted down the ice by the Knights. Resman back to pick it up. He's going to send it over to the far side for Hoyt. That's poked away by Perschbacher. Resman will fire that back down the ice. Kadich out to settle it. He'll rim it around the boards. Hoyt's going to come in, tries to center it, but that's off the leg of Resman. Now it's a 2-on-1 back the other way. Hoyt on a good back check to try to break it up. Takes Blevins wide. Blevins is going to circle the net. Right out in front. Shot save Konechny and cleared out of the zone. Gunter pushed down in front. And that's back up to the boards. Resman over to Gunter. Gunter's going to wind up right through center. Skates it in. Shot save. Gunter trying to wrap it around. He'll drop it off into the point. Out to the point for the other Resman. Over to Jake the Snake Resman, who will throw it in. The Bulldogs will dump it in and tag up. Minute 50 left to go in the game. 17 seconds left to go in the penalty kill. Knights send it far side for Blevins. They're going to bring it in. They drop it off for Carey. Fires a shot wide of Konechny over to the near side for Perschbacher. He'll drop it back down low. They walk that right out front. Perschbacher's shot goes wide, point blank. And that one will come all the way out into neutral ice. And the Knights will throw it back in offside and tag up. Out of the zone, Nemo winds up. He's going to bring it in wide. He's going to have Hicks right out front. Shot off the post. That'll go wide. And 1 minute left to go in the third period. Bulldogs trailing 4-3. And I believe Highland will call their timeout. Last minute of play left to go. Bulldogs trailing by 1. Konechny on the bench for the extra attacker and the empty net. Hoyt on the draw. Hoyt right through the crease, fires a shot. Hicks tries to send it out front. Resman fires it. That's off a body. Knights fire that down the ice. It's going to go far side. Resman races in, and we're going to get a whistle for icing with 41 seconds left to go. Bulldogs looking to pull off a come from behind tie, and then they would go to a shootout. Triad wins it to the corner. That's out to Resman. He'll throw it towards the net. That goes off of bodies. 33 seconds left to go. Hicks skates it. Shot. And a save by Kadich with 29 seconds left to go in the third period. Hoyt back on the draw. Shot from Rinder goes up and into the netting, and we'll get another whistle with 25 seconds left to go. 4-3 the score. Triad with the lead. They're going to put 0.4 seconds back on the clock to make it 25.5. That's one out of the zone by the Knights, and Resman will have to chase down. He fumbles that puck. He'll go hard up the boards to Hicks, and Urick will throw that towards the net. That's going to go in, and the Knights will win it. Empty netter for Luke Urick with 9 seconds left to go in the third period. And that'll seal the deal tonight for Triad bracket. Everybody have a great Monday night sleep. We'll see you back at the rink tomorrow night. Final score 5-3 Triad.